Welcome one, welcome all. Hope y'all had a very great Thanksgiving. As always, I'm joined by former Millie Maker winner Felix in the Best Ball Street just a few years ago. Felix, how was your Thanksgiving, man?
It was pretty good. I had a little bit of a sweat in the Millie Maker. I was top 400 with Derrick Henry, Isaiah Likely, and the Ravens D. And the Ravens D shit the bed. But it was all right. Everything else was good. Good holiday, the regular. How about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, that Ravens defense was, what's the word for it? Absolutely awful. I mean, You know what?
I'm excited, though.
Put them in many, many bad situations.
I agree.
It was one of those things where, you can't really blame the defense as much. They did have some goal line stands they held up on, but obviously the Bengals defense was optimal, which who would have thought? Who would have thought? Not me. I mean, I think that just shows, though, the Ravens have been winning games. They haven't been doing it in convincing fashion down the stretch, right? They barely beat the Browns. They barely beat the Jets. They don't look good in either of those games, right? I shouldn't say they barely beat the Jets, but they struggled against the Vikings a little bit. They just haven't been that great of a team down the stretch. It's noticeable. That's for sure.
It's the same with the Chiefs. Like I talked about it last week. I think they stuck and went out in Indianapolis and barely got that one through. And one being tired from that game going to Dallas, which, I don't feel too bad calling them as a Super Bowl winner all of a sudden. And I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, it's interesting without a doubt. I mean, it really is. The Chiefs taking the L. They still have decent odds to win the Super Bowl, which I was kind of shocked by. Cowboys are still just way back there in the odds, but that Lions loss, it puts them in the conversation a little bit more than I would have thought. Problem is, they needed the Eagles to win. That really, really helped them out. But the division could be in play.
It could be.
They
haven't looked good either.
This guy's a Cowboys fan, Esteban. Cowboys fan. I did have ham. I did not have turkey on Thanksgiving for the first time ever.
Really?
It wasn't even that intentional or whatever. I just went for the ham, and I had a big plate. Had to save room for dessert. Could barely finish the brownies on the plate. And then watching the Bengals. Just kind of flowed out that way.
And I'm a heavyweight. I went back for 3 plates, loaded it up every time.
That's the way
we had a lot of ham, turkey, mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, all the whole works.
So I love the food on Thanksgiving. I really do. That does sound really nice. You know what? I could be. We're gonna have samosas after I get off this show, though. So I won't be going for the leftovers. I did have leftovers over the last.
We've been killing leftovers the last couple of days.
It's always nice a big meal and then have the leftovers there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got 10 games to get to. We had 4 over the last couple of days with 3 on Thanksgiving, 1 on Black Friday, and then we get, obviously our standard main slate. No teams on buys this week, but we still got a hearty 10-game slate. This slate on paper, though, was pretty difficult to find elite options across the board, Felix. So we're going to have to put on our thinking caps a little bit here. We'll be going over the DraftKings slate and focusing on the Millie Maker overall. All right. What 2 better teams to start off than the New Orleans Saints taking on the Miami Dolphins? A-Chain has been one of the best week in and week out at the running back position, especially on DraftKings with full point PPR. Has been an absolute stud and will be one of the highest owned guys on the entire slate at 8,300 here. We got 37% projections where we have him at. Jalen Waddle is going to be very high up there, Felix. You look on the other side of the ball, what's the main thing that we're going to be doing? Well, no Alvin Kamara. Is it finally our former Kansas Jayhawk, Devin Neal, in the mix? So, this is an interesting game because, normally I don't have a ton of interest in these type of games with the Saints being involved in it, but the Dolphins defense is bad enough to where, they have such a clear funnel between their top 2 guys that you can easily make some nice stacks, right?
Yeah, there's 3 games, and this is one of the 3 games I'm going to be targeting. It's going to be a lot of A-Chain like everybody else, but I'm going to be well overweight Devin Neal. The way that he catches the passes, I don't know how it happens every week. My play of the day is going to be Devin Neal. I'm going to just go ahead and tell you right now. And I think it's a smash play. I think he might get goal line, taken away to Taysom, but I think the amount of work that he's going to get, a lot of check down passes, I can see him with 8 catches, like 60 yards with another 100 yards rushing. I think it could be a big day for Devin Neal.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, we were on the show last week. Big P joined us, right? And he wanted to play Devin Neal really badly after taking his gummy. Alvin Kamara ended up getting rolled in. It was very tough to play. And then now you're going to get Devin Neal at 5K, which this ownership doesn't make a ton of sense to me.
No, I don't think it's been updated.
Yeah, I don't think it's been updated either. I think this will get, fairly high enough, right, to where, you'll still want a decent amount of him. He is going to be one of the best plays overall. Like we said, we loved him at Kansas. He was an absolute stud there. My only fear with him, right, is this guy at 27.
Yeah. There was a report that they're going to get him more touches this week.
And how many touches did he have last week? Was it 7?
More than he needed.
Well, we did have the anytime touchdown. Don't forget.
I know. It's just it did not come to fruition.
Well,
I put the 2 touchdown down last week, and it did not happen either.
Wait,
so he had like so many carries from the 1 last week, man.
I know. Okay, so hear me out here. You said they're going to give more carries than last week.
Yeah, because no Camaro this week. He's got to be the goal line guy.
He's got to be, right? 10
carries. And this defense is not as good as the previous defense.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think we're going to see a lot more Taysom Hill than we want, but I do think that Devin Neal's going to make his stamp and be like the Bucky Irving from last year.
Careful then with the words of them what we want, Felix, because I'm going to make a pretty bold claim here. Right? I'm going to click on all tight ends for us, right?
Well, he'll be number one tight end next week or this week.
There's still a lot of good tight ends. Remember last week we loved the tight end.
No, I'm never doing 2 tight end ever again. I 100%ed it last week. Never do that
well, I got to shout out. I was top 2 in the Millie Maker for a while last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the $20. I had a really good team. I ended up getting a Jacoby Myers touchdown. I had the Raiders defense. If I flip that to the Browns or Saints, I have a much better chance at finishing top 5. Michael Wilson was the guy I didn't have, who kind of pushed me down a little bit. But Felix, it was Hunter Henry who was in that lineup, and I think it was another tight end for sure.
Should have made that bet. I forgot to after the
yeah,
show.
I know. The funny part was Gesicki started out 3 catches.
Oh my God, he started off so hot. I'm like, well, I'm glad we taken that.
And then Flacco missed him a couple times. I
agree. Yeah, I
agree. It's good stuff, right? Like, and we have good tight ends across the board. Like, look, everyone knows how I feel about Bowers. McBride is finally priced right, though, right? No Chip Kelly in that Bowers offense. I'm not meaning to skip around and stuff, but all these tight ends, none of them are under 3K until you get to one Taysom Hill, whose projection might be a few points too low. I think I'm going to be playing a lot of Taysom Hill tomorrow as a little bit of leverage off Devin Neal, who I think is a great play. Don't get me wrong. But look, it doesn't take much to pay off a tag at 2,700, and even threw 2 passes last week. It's interesting.
Yeah. He's going to be involved more than we want, unless you're going to own him a whole bunch, which I'll overweight, but I don't know. It'll be a lot of mix of this game. This is one of my 3 games I'm going to 100%. I'm going to kind of fade a lot of the teams this week, and this is not one of them. This is one of the games I'm going to be focusing on.
Oh man, Alex, do not be sorry to bring it up, man. It's just very fortunate to be in that position. If I can be in that position every single time over the next 6-7 weeks, I would be more than happy to be in that position, man. It means I'm probably doing something right. It could just be running completely pure, but fun to have those sweats.
My call of James Will. I wanted to go Jahmyr Gibbs again.
That was the team.
I wanted to go Jahmyr Gibbs again, but I couldn't because I was like, I've done it 3 straight weeks in a row. I got to give him a different play. I was like, I think that game's going to be a shootout. So I was like, he's got to have something involved in it. He was completely awful.
It was Jameis Winston, Wandale with Amon-Ra and Jahmyr Gibbs run back. It did not have Jackson Smith and Jigba, who absolutely nuked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you couldn't get him in with those combo players.
Right.
If you had to choose between A-Chain and Waddle, who are you going with? Both great plays, but I mean, it has to be A-Chain just, with that massive projection.
I agree, but I'm not opposed to, like, there's a couple other cheaper running backs, not a lot, but there's some cheaper running backs you can get to that are available later or there's another high price running back that I do like at that same price range, James Cook. So I don't want to get a hold of ourselves, but I think that's going to be where I make a pivot in those game stacks.
I like it. Okay, Felix, one last thing, because this game's good, right? I don't want to completely gloss over, right? I know
there's some pretty bad games on this slate.
Yeah, without a doubt, right? So I'm kind of looking at, I'm like, is Shuck too cheap at 4,400? Right, like
he's very cheap. It's very viable to add like certain other products to that team. Yeah, it's definitely viable.
Look at these quarterbacks too. Like, didn't it feel like last week they priced quarterbacks down a lot, and then this week kind of had it with Tua, Shuck both being below 4K, right? So I'm gonna filter it out here, make it a little easier on everyone to read. Hide, remove players. Yeah, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 starters below 5K. Stroud is 5K himself flat. So yeah, I mean it's gonna be interesting. I do think the gap between them and Allen, like, it's not 35, 3K difference, right?
Right.
I think, it can be. We just saw him get 47 the other week.
Yeah, I was like, I played him a couple weeks. It wasn't bad. Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. If I ranked them, A-Chain Neal, then next tier would be Waddle, next tier would be Taysom Hill, to Shuck, and Olave. That would be how I tier them here.
Yeah.
The ATL traveling to New Jersey to take on the Jets here. Tough to go away from Bijan completely, but I got to give you guys credit. You were both a little bit against Bijan last week. That worked out just nicely for y'all against the Saints. They packed the box. They dared Kirk Cousins to beat them. And what was it? Just a 24-10 loss. They only gave up 24. The Saints' one score was a defensive touchdown. Now that I think about it, but it wasn't like Kirk Cousins did anything special. This Jets defense, nothing special at all. No Quinn Williams, no Sauce Gardner, right? Like no DJ Reed from last year, right? Like they've lost a lot of the key pieces that made them great over the last couple of years, and now they're just a bad defense. What's the issue, Felix? Kirk Cousins is a bad quarterback now, right? Both of them. Yeah, it's hard to get away from that. And Tyrod Taylor, you're exactly right. It's tough because you see no Drake London, right? And your immediate thought is, can we play Darnell Mooney? Can we play Kyle Pitts? And the answer to me is I don't know. Darnell Mooney has been just getting a ton of targets, right? Like, what was it? 10 targets a couple weeks ago, only 1 catch. 3 for 74 and 1 last week. But they only completed 16 passes, and they were spread out to 7 different guys. This Falcons offense feels really gross, despite it being a decent spot.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be on the Jet side of this with just their the running back and wide receiver pieces. Nothing against Mason Taylor, but like we talked about, there's Taysom and there's other tight ends that I want to target that are a little bit more expensive. And I think Breece Hall, his rushing, he should be able to tear up this team. They're at home. I'm never going to take any pieces where the Falcons are favorites. I don't like it. They're always failing that prop. I don't know. I'm going to kind of stay away from Darnell Mooney is viable, I guess, but I would probably be slightly below the field on Bijan. Probably slightly below with Darnell Mooney, but yeah, I might mix in Pitts. And I'll probably be overweight Breece and AD Mitchell.
So it's funny you bring up AD Mitchell, right? Like we both have a little bit of AD Mitchell love still.
Yeah.
Last week he didn't have a bad week at all, right? Didn't
he looked good. Yeah.
When
he catches the ball, he looks explosive. But catching the ball is the hard part.
That is absolutely the tough part with him because we saw a few key drops with Justin Fields, the quarterback in the Thursday night game. What was it? We had John Mechie back-to-back games with a touchdown for real.
Yeah.
So last week, seven targets for AD Mitchell, 2 for 42. That feels like his exact stat line in week 11. I thought I was looking at a mirrored performance. Yeah, week 11, 6 targets. That's what it was. So 2 for 42 last week. Mechie 6 for 65. Breece Hall did most of his damage on 1 catch. If you're looking at the Jets side, the thing is though, this is what we struggle with all year is that the Jets didn't have any wide receivers that you could rely on. Like Tyler Johnson was playing the most snaps to start the year. Garrett Wilson, I should say. You had him, and then it was everybody else. With Garrett Wilson sideline, it's very clearly John Mechie and AD Mitchell, right? Like you can throw in Mason Taylor and Breece Hall as factors in the passing game, but at least you have a very clear funnel. This Falcons defense has probably seen the biggest decline over the course of a season, right? Like I think that's the biggest thing to know. Like, people will watch the show weekly or, might have known, like I had a ton of respect for this defense, especially the secondary. But over the last 4 or 5 weeks, it's been a complete opposite. Like even Shuck threw for 243 against them. They were giving up, 250 plus passing yards in each of these games. So I don't want to completely go away from AD Mitchell and John Mechie just because the volume is going to potentially be there. And this game is not sexy. It's not, no matter how you splice it up. But I do prefer the Jets pass catchers, which it's gross. I understand, over Breece Hall. And it's just because, like, the Breece Hall situation, it's just like they're just going to be stacking the box trying to force Tyrod to beat them. And, like, it feels like, what was it, week 11, right, against the Patriots. Only 14 carries, 58 yards, right? Then you're trying to luck into some, pass involvement. 16 for 44 against the Ravens, 21 for 83 against the Browns. Like, his last great game was against the Bengals, and it's usually everyone's last great game. But even against the Panthers, like, another underwhelming performance and stuff. It's just kind of like a slight turnoff. I know the price is down at the very least, but the ownership is pretty high on a guy who just hasn't really performed outside of a couple big catches, which, again, he's made great plays on those catches.
Yeah.
So I don't want to completely discount it, but I'm just willing to sell just a little bit on Breece here and buy on, guys who are going to be sub 10% in AD Mitchell and Mechie. I'm with you on Pitts. Look, anyone who's played fantasy football over the last couple of years knows he's the most frustrating guy. But if you're going to do it against the team, without Drake London, with Kirk Cousins, who can't really throw the ball downfield a whole lot, this is probably the best time that we can to play Pitts. I would take him straight up over Darnell Mooney.
Probably the best athlete on the receiving end for them. So
been the best athlete on that team for 4 years now.
Yeah, right. It hasn't really mattered, but like if you're going to take a shot on some workload, if they're not going to Bijan in the pass game or Darnell Mooney, they'll probably go to Pitts.
Yep, I like that. All right, let's go to Houston taking on Indianapolis here. Davis Mills. He's going back to the bench with CJ Stroud back. Right, CJ Stroud's officially in. Is that right?
He had no injury report last thing I saw. He was not listed on the injury report.
Perfect. So we'll get CJ Stroud back, which is that a good thing for this offense that's been clicking a little bit? I love CJ Stroud. I'm an Ohio State guy, right? I forgot about that. Yeah. 08-0, Felix.
We sucked this year, so I wasn't too surprised. So
the first quarter, I was getting pissed off.
I was like, okay, we're up 6-0. Okay, we can hang with them. And then I was like, that pass to Cardell Tate, I was like, no, it's over.
It's just, I can't believe they ran it as well as they did.
3 years, we got it. 3 years.
Oh.
I think we're gonna go through a little slump here.
Yeah, I think so. Harbaugh was just
he's another. Yeah, I agree.
Look, I mean, this Texas team does they just beat the Bills, right? They beat the Titans, they beat the Jags. The problem with them, just overall, is it's defense heavy with the Texans, and we usually like to kind of target these games, right, against the Colts. Big T was on the show last time saying like the Colts are one of the best teams on a slow chart week in and week out. My problem is, like, outside of Nico Collins and maybe Woody Marks at 5,800, I kind of just don't love it. I feel like this game is a divisional slugfest. I don't really expect a whole lot from Houston here. Nico is a great price. Like, I honestly like this Nico ownership too. If it's going to be sub 20%, we have seen, like, Rashee Rice last week went off. It took him a while to get going, but he ended up getting there without a doubt. You also have, I'm trying to think, like, Woody Marks, just a clear alpha in that backfield, getting a lot of carries. It's just like everyone else just feels like, I don't get excited because their wide receiver room is one of the worst in the NFL for fantasy, right? Yeah. Like, if you're playing CJ Stroud, well, everyone's playing him with Nico, but then you got everyone else in that roster. Like, look, Higgins, Kirk, Hutchinson, Knoll, like even Stover, all getting like in between 10 and 20 routes. Like, it's no consistency there. And with Higgins, his success came with Mills, not with Stroud. So I'm kind of thinking that the Colts take this one in Indy, but I mean, I'm all ears here, Felix.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat. I think it's a close game. I do think it's not a high scoring game. I think they run a lot, but I do think the one player that I'm like looking at a whole bunch is that the Texans kind of get beat by the smaller wide receiver. They got burned by Shakir, and in this team, it's kind of Josh Downs. So maybe Josh Downs and Tyler Ward playing over the middle, short catches. I could see a big game from Josh Downs this week. On the other side, I would be going with a lot of Woody Marks, just because I like the touches and the amount of work that he's going to get.
Yeah, I mean, it's just nice at 5,800, right? Like,
yeah,
it's kind of comparable to the sense of Breece Hall, where It's a very, very similar team total, right? Like the Jets are actually implied 2.5 points less than the Texans with Saber Simpson, right? Which elite, best product in the game,
It
not
is.
even close. Texans with a slightly better team total going against a slightly worse defense, or not slightly worse defense, but a worse defense than the Falcons. I think Indianapolis's defense is worse than the Falcons. But you're kind of getting a very similar workload. One's going to be 25% and the other one's going to be 5%, right? This is why I kind of like Woody a little bit. On the Colts side of the ball, it's so tough to pay $9,800 for Jonathan Taylor. I mean,
I'm not doing it. Yeah.
It's against an elite defense too, right? Yeah. Like people were saying, can the Texans do it against an elite offense? And maybe the jury is slightly still out on the Bills' offense as a whole being elite, right? They don't have a ton of elite skill players with Dalton Kincaid sidelined. You know, your wide receiver one's Khalil Shakir, who, you know, I love him as a player, but he's not like, you know, a dominant wide receiver one by any means. And it just comes to the fact that, like, you know, if there was one case I could make for Jonathan Taylor is that James Cook ran 17 for 116 and 1 last week on them. And he is the offensive player of the year as things stand. He isn't going to be owned. I'm trying to talk myself onto him because I am going to play a lot of Taysom Hill, and he's not going to be owned. Like, but I mean, if you're only playing a few lineups, like it's tough to make work.
Yeah, it's just too far out of the price range. I mean, he is, you know, the elite, the cream of the crop. It's just, are you going to be able to outscore the guys like Devin Neal per points per dollar? And there's some good wide receivers on this slate that, you know, that are good. I'd rather play Nico, you know, and get a cheaper running back or Taysom Hill, and rather play that way than spend up for JT in a hard matchup.
In a very difficult matchup, right? There's just no denying it. The Texans are the number one defense, I think, overall in yards per game allowed. They are beating out, like, you know, the Browns and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it also, if you can't figure it out, I'm not paying $6,300 for Daniel Jones here all that much. Same with Tyler Warren, Michael Pittman. It's just a very difficult spot in this game. Overall, I think plays a little bit gross. Woody Marks, Nico Collins, Jonathan Taylor, and then it would be like a one-off of Pittman or Warren. Just, you know, nothing too aggressive at all. I think the Colts defense, I think 3,100. I might be entertained.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud comes back, ruins the mojo. I don't know. I love Stroud, but
yeah, if he comes out and just sucks, man, there could be some quarterback controversy out there, and Miami's going to be like, what? It's kind of screen watching that game because they're kind of coming on board this season. Like right now, it could be a lot of people want the Texans to lose. The mojo could be bad for them.
100% could be. We have the Rams taking on the Panthers here. We also had a quick question here. Andrew, we did talk about the Dolphins. This is the first game that we talked about on the slate. Much better game than I would have thought for fantasy, honestly. And Taysom Hill's sneaky play. Devin Neal's going to be Felix's play of the day. The A-Chain Waddle, good plays too, just to sum it up for you. No better team in the world right now than the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, anyone would be crazy to argue against that as of right now. They do it with 3 tight ends on the field for a large portion of the game. Puka isn't having to play balls to the wall. Devontae Adams getting all these short throws his way near the goal line and taking advantage of them, leading the NFL in touchdowns. Kyron Williams having a solidified 65% of the snaps. Then Blake Corum spells him every other drive or so, every 2 drives. It's, you know, a well-oiled machine at this point, Felix. The problem is I don't think Puka's in play. And, you know, we were on the Sunday night showdown. I think I brought this up, you know, a few times on this show too. Puka's snaps are way down. And it is because they are kicking ass, but it's because they are running so many one wide receiver sets too. Because, you know, these 3 tight end sets that they got, whether it's, you know, last week it was Ferguson, Parkinson, and Davis Allen out there playing a ton. And the weeks before that, you obviously had Higbee in the mix too. They are able to run the ball down your throat, and they're able to get the ball to those tight ends because Matthew Stafford, as things stand, I would have thought it was May a couple weeks ago, but Stafford's taking this award and running with it.
Yeah.
He's the MVP. And Puka isn't having to, you know, tax himself with like a heavy amount of routes. Like last week ran 30 routes, which was pretty impressive, to be honest. But the week before that, Devontae ran 27, Puka ran 20. I don't think you're going to see a ton of upside from Puka moving forward unless they are in an absolute dogfight or in the playoffs, because I really do feel like they're managing his snaps a little bit. And
I concur. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like the Panther, are they going to be able to push him? Is Bryce Young really going to be able to push Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford? I mean, we all just saw it against the San Francisco 49ers, right? I get frustrated because like the Panthers team looks good one week, looks horrible the next. Bryce Young looks confident, looks absolutely incompetent. I can't figure them out, but I do know one thing: the Rams are the best team in football, and the Panthers are not winning this game.
Yeah, I agree. As much as Bryce is better at home, and Los Angeles is coming across the country, I don't think they really can stand a shot here. I am going to be mixing a lot of Kyron. I think he's been a little bit off this game. They should start getting him ramped up a little bit for the playoffs. I agree with you. Puka is kind of unplayable. If you're doing playoff best ball, this is the time to be grabbing a bunch of Puka. I mean, I think he goes at the top of the draft, but
he does. Yeah,
like he's going to be the best player to be grabbing as much as you can.
Yeah, really good point too. Real quick, playoff best ball has started on DraftKings. Your best time to draft is over the next few weeks. I would say more than 60% of the drafts occur the week before the playoffs start. So you have 60% of the teams drafting in very, very similar conditions. If you draft right now, let's say you think the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs, they're going undrafted for the most part right now, right? Yeah. So like, you can build out really elite teams right now. I am trying to get as many Rams as I can, Felix, because like I don't see it.
Yeah. I went full. I made 2 to the finals last year, and I had one was a full stack of Eagles players, like just nothing but Eagles players. That was like it was up to 100 place, which was played out pretty good last year. Not as good as this year, the million up top, but yeah. Then I think it was one that just happened to have a McConkey, Xavier Worthy. Said did okay, but.
It's funny because you mentioned that is like what the first year I played, like it was 76 of us in the final or something like that. Yeah. And I was dead on arrival anyway. And then last year I didn't get to see the last 2 years how they finished because whenever the Giants beat the Vikings, that was the year I had a good year. And I can't remember what that was. I think it was another Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl or something. Yeah, Big Kev. It is kind of funny how many 1-yard touchdowns there are to Devontae Adams.
It's so stupid. I've been playing Kyron Williams 2 TDs every single week, and he got all the way down to the one. They're like, quick out to Devontae. It's so annoying.
The thing is, even when they kick ass, Matthew Stafford is getting 25 fantasy points.
It's
right?
Like crazy, yeah.
The problem is, it's like you can almost play him naked, which. For Stafford, that is absurd to say out loud, but like his receivers are 9K and 7.5. The fact is, like you go back to last week, right? And last week, Devontae Adams had 2 touchdowns, right? 5 for 62 and 2, right? 7.5K. That's gonna be plenty most weeks. 23 fantasy points, 23.2. Puka wouldn't have been optimal. Colby Parkinson, 441 and 1. I mean, if you got you want to guess the tight end, he's throwing to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different receivers. That's not even including Corum.
I bet the under on Colby Parkinson first half reception yards last week. I was so dumbfounded. Immediately over. I was like, come on.
The worst part was Fergie running the team low and snap and routes. I was kind of shocked by that.
I thought he would be the one that taking the team.
Well, Davis Allen, 14 routes, 4 targets and stuff, and then our guy T Ferg only one target overall. Kind of hurt me. Look, it's a one way path. Butt whooping town. I like Tedera. A little bit at 6.1. Rico's fine at 6.9. They need to feed the ball to Rico because passing the ball with Bryce Young ain't working. Thing is, McVay knows that. Leggett had a strong fourth quarter there down the stretch.
It's just you don't
on the bad play.
Jared Verse is just going to tear him up. That's the problem.
Oh, yeah, you're exactly right. Why can't the Bengals find a Jared Verse? Why can't?
Yeah.
I guess we had Geno Atkins and stuff. But did you hear the rumor about Aaron Donald? If he comes back to this team,
dude, yeah, they're locking it in.
I mean, look, as far as DFS plays, I actually think this is slightly underwhelming. This is the weird part. I have Stafford tier 1. Yeah. Then I would have Devontae and Kyron Williams, and then I would have like Puka, Tedera. I think that's about it. Rico, throw Rico in
I'm kind of saying again. I'm staying away from these games. There's 3 games I'm targeting, and this is not one of them. I'm going to have some Kyron and Rico, a little bit of T-Mac, and I'm just going to stay away from the priced up wide receivers.
He's not going to pull a rag now.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I was like, "What? How are you going to come out of retirement and embarrass yourself?"
Then if you were to get the Cowboys right, if you got the Cowboys to make the playoffs, like, and you're hell bent on that, instead of putting down like $100 bet to go to the Super Bowl or whatever, you put $100 in the best ball, draft like 20 teams and a $3.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah,
it's fun to do that. What tight end would you recommend? My highest price 6 guy. I haven't looked at the FanDuel slate just yet. Draft solos. If you give me some names at the top, I'd be happy to answer. But we are a DK partner because they are the best DFS site by far. 49ers taking on the Browns. Brock Purdy last week. Underwhelming, to say the least. I mean, they still kick butt. I think that's like the biggest advertisement against the Panthers is that Brock Purdy looked horrible. People saw the box score. People didn't watch the game and saw the box score. I think Shedeur Sanders played halfway well. As someone who was sweating out $1 million with Shedeur, with the Raiders defense, I was praying that Shedeur would make mistakes, and he did make a couple.
Yeah.
The one throw he had down the field rolling to his right, that was an absolute time.
It was nice. Yeah.
That was great. Jerry Jeudy did have a fumble too that cost him a little bit. But overall, I'm out on this offense. I'm out on the Browns offense. I'm going to be very high on the 49ers defense because here's the thing. The Raiders suck. The 49ers do not. The 49ers are going to get ahead. They're going to force Shedeur into bad situations. And there were some decisions last week that Shedeur made that you kind of clenched your ass cheeks together and you're like, oof, he got away with one there. And as someone who, like I said, I had my best finish in the middle yet, I was so mad that the 49ers Raiders did not capitalize on that. I was so mad that they were able to let the Cleveland Browns run the ball 40 times, it felt like, and control the pace. They're not going to do that here. The Browns defense is it's not elite, but it's very, very, very good. It's close to elite. It's offset by the fact that the offense is the worst in the league. It's tough. But this game is overall just an underwhelming one. I'm not paying that. Well, would you pay 9.3 for Christian McCaffrey knowing that he can get it done through the air, through the ground? He can have 10 catches for 80 yards for all we know.
He is the one player in the league where you just say he can get 50 carries and nobody would be surprised. 50 touches, like now, do I see that? No, but like he's going to be involved enough that he's going to pay off. I just don't see he's going to have a ceiling game. And so I'm not really, I put $5 on this being the lowest scoring game of the week on DraftKings Sportsbook this week. And I don't know. I don't have a high feeling. I do think this defense is elite, so it can slow down the 49ers. On the other side, do they have anything to really – I can see Quishon Judkins kind of just running the ball a bunch. And I mean, Dylan Sampson, I think, is a better running back. I think you're going to have that discussion next year with the Browns. It's like, well, Dylan Sampson, when he came in, he was more explosive. The Jalen Ward, Najee Harris comps are going to come out next year. And, I like Dylan Sampson more, but I can't play him at 4,700. Yeah, like I want to play pieces. Like I love Ricky P. I like George Kittle, but it's just all ugly. I'm going to stay away from it.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could have a different take. You're one guy who is matchup proof in the NFL, maybe two. It's Puka and McCaffrey, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, the ownership is still like there. I just think like his floor is slightly different than most because 5 or 6 catches, had to catch myself, 5 to 6 catches, maybe 90 all yards total. And then he's got to be like plus 200 for 2 touchdowns in any given week, right? Plus 125. Usually it's like he can easily find himself with 25 fantasy points. And that could be more than enough. But outside of him, 49ers defense, my favorite play in this game. I'll honestly say it too. I can be talked in on the Browns defense just because of how bad Purdy looked. It wasn't like wrong. It was just bad throws, and Panthers also dropped a couple. So,
well, it's not like he did not realize that they were running like a cover Rob Zero or something like that. So, like, hopefully a little bit more in tune with the with things are going on. I think it was just a bad game. I can see him bouncing back, but again, against his defense, I think he's going to get put on his butt quite a few times. It's going to be kind of tough.
Well, that's exactly it, right? Can they hold him up? Can they hold them up? Just gross game.
Yep.
Cardinals. Talk about a game that this has to be one that you're targeting.
No, it's actually not. Nope.
I am shocked by that.
I do like this game. This was on the verge. I was going to add a fourth team, but it didn't make it.
So we get the Tampa pass funnel. Is Bucky? Let's see. I got to go to the Schefter tweets now, right? That's the one thing, right? We always do. Is all these tweets happen like right when I hit go live, right? All these tweets happen. We get Ragnow story, all that.
Is Baker playing?
That's what I'm looking at right now. It does not. Yeah, Baker looks to be in it. I'm going to look that up too. Yeah. We got Baker projected right now. Sabres got him projected too. Baker Mayfield will play.
Okay.
So, that's good to know. Set to play Sunday. The Bucky Irving thing, I don't know what to think of it. I really don't. I think that I would like to assume that he would just see a large role if he's in tomorrow. That's got to be, So here's the head coach, Todd Bowles. We'll put him in. Once he gets in, we'll see how he's rolling. And then between him, Rashad, and Tucker, we'll go with the hot hand. A 7K. Do I really want to do that? Yeah. I mean, here, I'll make it easy on it.
But if he's there, like what I'm saying, that it hypothetically could, but
I'm out on Bucky, man. I'm not in the 300.
I have so much Bucky at best ball. I'm like, I'm okay. I'll be happy if he hits there and whatnot. So, I'm not touching the running game here. I do have a lot of wide receiver positions I like on the Buck side with Ibuka, and I like Tez Johnson again this week. But again, and it could be a shootout again with. I can't believe in Jacoby Brissett. It's so hard for me, but there's no running game for the Cardinals, so they have to throw it. MHJ coming back. This is why I was like on the borderline because it's like Baker Mayfield. How hurt is he? Is this a liability? Like, can he come in for a few plays? Same with Bucky. If he does, doesn't really show out, could this be they're behind the sticks over and over again? I didn't really want to play this guy. I do like some of the pieces though.
It's just like the pass funnel, right? Where it's a situation where with the Bucks, exactly. We know that the Cardinals have trouble running the ball to begin with, right? Well, it's especially tough to run the ball against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They do get Marvin Harrison back in the mix, right? Is he truly questionable still? That's another guy. So
I don't think he was. So one of these guys. I don't think he was listed on the
expected to play this week. Okay.
Yeah.
No one's going to be playing Michael Wilson again.
No.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to be playing a lot of McBride and Wilson. I think that the fact that Wilson has gone off back-to-back weeks in such great fashion, and everyone's going to hop off. It's a situation, remember how it was on Rico Dowdle when he crushed, and then Chuba comes back. This isn't exactly 1A, 1B, right? It's not like one running back's out there on the field the entire time. I want wide receivers who are making plays, wide receivers who are absolutely balling out, and a wide receiver who clearly has great rapport with Jacoby Brissett. And right now, you could argue that Harrison's been having success too, but Jacoby Brissett doubles are so elite because they have to chuck the ball 40-something times a game to move the ball, and you have to do that against this Tampa team. And people are going to hop off here. You're getting the most chalk stack the last 2 weeks. You're now getting it at sub 15% overall. I think I'm going to be in on it, and I'm going to hope that the Cardinal. And the thing is, too, Felix, those games kind of get extended because they're throwing the ball so much.
It completes, yeah.
So it's like I'm going to go back to this Cardinal as well. I don't know if I'll have it as my main stack. I'll have to
with the cheaper quarterbacks out there, I feel like you could get better value for the quarterback position.
It's like the 5.8 tag is so funny because it does feel a little high after you saw 4.9 to a 4.4.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to dance with the Cardinals tomorrow. They might be at this ownership, especially for the Millie. I think they have a really good chance. Who would I run it back with? I don't know. Ibuka. And then you have a three-headed monster. You don't have to run it back, but I'm just trying to think who that would be. Ibuka would have to be the only guy that I'd really have any interest on the Bucks, to be quite honest.
Yeah, if Baker is healthy, it's not actually questionable, I think Tez is a good fit here. Chris Godwin's okay. Like if he actually got the work, they're still kind of inching him back in. But yeah, I think it's Ibuka, Taz, and wait for Chris Godwin to actually get going.
Yeah, makes. I'm not done with Chris Godwin until he shows something. Right, that's been the mantra for a while. The defenses are okay. I mean,
Trey McBride's obviously a smash play every week, so not to. It's expensive, but like we literally said this last week. Until he hits 8,000, he's a viable play.
He definitely is. It's funny. C-line. I think McBride is fittable.
Yeah. Like so, what are those? And I don't want to do it, but if you're gonna taste them, you put Trey McBride in the flex. It's like you're playing a wide receiver out there. It's like you're playing. That is the only tight end I would double with. It's the only tight end I'm double with.
God, Big T's going to be pissed that I stole his flow. He's going to get on the show tomorrow, and I'm going to beat him to the Taysom Hill play of the day.
I've seen a lot on Twitter, at least on my X.
You forget how big of a sicko I am, Christian. You forget how sick I am in the head. One game I'm excited to watch tomorrow. Nah, yeah, you're right. There's nothing.
Cardinals. I'm excited for the first game we talked about. It's not going to be a good implication game, but I think it's going to be a good game.
You forget that I watch the Pelicans and Wizards on a nightly basis. Jags, Titans. ETN got a good start last game, then kind of fizzled out. Tootin didn't really have much. Jacoby Myers wasn't really looked at that often. You got Brian Thomas back in the mix. Parker Washington had a decent second half. With Brian Thomas back, these prices are slightly inflated for Parker and Jacoby. Brian Thomas himself has been rough, right? I mean, there's nothing around it. ETN's my favorite play on the Jags, but then you kind of quickly run out of plays. Like I don't really like Lawrence a ton. The Titans, still split backfield. It's still shitty offense. And, got to get Gunnar Helm did okay last week, right? Like, I think Big T, kind of liked him a little bit, but still two tight ends, right? Like, that's the issue. They got two of everything. Our guy Mayonnaise, Ayo Manor, he's 3,700. It's a pass funnel. So if there was a week for Cam Ward to succeed, it's got to be this. I wish I could I click on one tight end and know that they're going to be the guy. But the problem is Chig and Gunnar Helm, they split so much that, if they were one tight end combined, they'd be elite, right? They'd be great. Yeah. The problem is they're splitting all that production together. And it's just gross overall. But with Ayo Manor back, Knox Van Jefferson down a ton, you'd expect him to kind of slot into that. If they drop back 40 times, Ayo Manor could be out there the entire game. I guess there's some okay plays.
I don't know, man. I'm starting to go towards the DK guy, the Shamir DK. I think he's looked explosive in those punt returns, and maybe that's what it is. It's just like I seen all these explosive plays. But, yeah, sorry about that. I think he's been more involved. Maybe it's because Mayonnaise has been out, but I think he's earned himself a nice little role there with the Titans.
He has. Let's look over the last couple of weeks for DK here. Shamir DK, 7 targets last week, 5 catches, 44 yards at a touchdown. Does have punt return duties as well. He scored, I think it was like 2 or 4 weeks ago.
He put it on our Chargers,
Game before that, DK, he had to get banged up in that one. Week 11, he was really reduced down to just 12 routes. Trying to figure that was Ayo Manor was in on that one. Van Jefferson ran 37, Ayo Manor 34. But the problem is, how do you take off the guy who's actually producing for you? I mean, God, Helm had 51 yards last week, 6 for 51. I did not know he got to the 51 mark. Damn. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you have more interest in the Jag side than the Titans side? Do you like Trevor Lawrence?
I actually say I kind of like Trevor Lawrence's. We're going to get to it later, but his rushing upside here, he's done pretty well there, and I don't know, like it's a kind of an ugly game again. It's like they don't really get blown out by anybody. They get kind of controlled. So I'm going to have a lot of Tootin and not a lot of ETN this week. ETN can ball out, but I would probably stay with the Trevor Lawrence little bag with him and then some Tootin.
Chig did not practice on Thursday. He was actually he was limited on Friday. Did not practice on Thursday. David, I would be very thrilled
Yeah.
Click on Gunnar Helm's name tomorrow at 2,600 if Chig's out. We will get that news before lock. Look at the tight ends. So let's go ahead and just, for the people, we got plenty of time. It's 10 games slate. Yeah. Helm, 7 targets last week, 6 for 51. Chig, 4 targets last week, 3 for 40. Tight ends combined, 9 for 91. All right. Cam Ward loves his tight ends. Week 11, Chig, 3 for 56. Gunnar Helm, 4 for 29. Well, do the math. 7 for 85. All right. Not to say that this is a perfect 1-for-1, that Helm will get all of Chig's production, whatever. It just shows that Chig being out would very much make Gunnar Helm at 2,600 a great value play. It would rival Taysom Hill as a great value play, right?
I didn't realize that Chig was their leading receiver on the team.
Yeah, if you would have told me that before the season started,
you'd be so excited. Yeah,
I'd be so thrilled about my best ball teams. The problem is that number is extremely low.
Yeah,
it's a very low bar.
Yeah,
I like that. Cam Restrepo, just not seeing the field. It was the 6 targets last week with A.O. Manor back.
He's not. He's going to be special teams.
Yeah, it's just if A.O. Manor was out. The thing, 14 routes and 6 targets is crazy. Just shows you that Cam Ward loves his Miami guy.
Yeah,
I did not expect that route target rate to be so high. You like Trevor Lawrence's rushing upside a little bit. Sounds like he'll be a pick 6 later on. Anyone else that you wanted to touch up on in this game? Maybe the Jags defense at 3,700.
Jags defense is viable at 3,700, I believe, and that's because they get that pressure like so fast, and Josh Allen might have a field day with him.
Yeah, I like it. Let's move on from this game. Again, if you guys have any questions and stuff, put them into the chat. We'll be active in the Discord. I know Felix, we'll be doing some best ball drafts. Probably won't be doing them too much together because it's only 6-man lobbies. It's really hard to get, I don't want anyone to claim collusion or anything like that. But great time for playoff best ball, and that we'll talk a whole bunch of strategy, show each other some teams too. It's going to be nice. It's going to be a nice few weeks on the march into the playoffs. Sam Darnold goes against Kevin O'Connell. Hot take: Max Brosmer is a better quarterback than JJ McCarthy.
I'm on the same boat. I mean, as bad as 9 is played, it's clearly it could be Rosmer time, and just like, and we just see the last of 9 out there. And remember Zach Wilson came out and they brought in Trevor, like that guy, like made Zach Wilson, unusable the rest of his life.
The fact that you just said it as like you just referred to JJ McCarthy as 9 twice in a few sentences, I'm dying. I don't know what to expect from this offense. We have seen Kevin O'Connell work his magic. Like Nick Mullins was a leading passer for a few weeks. This is a Seahawks team that has an elite offense. Sam Darnold has a vendetta against this Minnesota defense, right? Like at the end of the day, people can say what they want. He can say, I'm very grateful, blah, 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 that they gave me an opportunity. They got rid of you. They dumped you for a way worse quarterback. You got to be feeling damn good about yourself if you're Sam Darnold right now. I think the Seahawks could pour it on. And we saw it last week where it took them just like a quarter or so, but then they really jumped out ahead against the Titans, and Jackson Smith and Jigba still went off, right? Like that's the big thing. I don't really want to count out this offense though for the Vikings, Felix, because no one's going to click on their damn name. And again, that's so cliche to say it for fantasy football, like DFS, but like no one's clicking on a top 4 wide receiver in the NFL and Justin Jefferson with an improvement at quarterback. And
it's so sad to say.
It is. It's like,
I
think there is slight potential there, and I'm not going to like just rule him out. 7,100 for Jefferson is one of the cheapest price tags that you'll see on the entire season. It should be a pass-heavy script. We know the Seahawks offense can score. Are you willing to gamble that Max Brosmer can play competent football? And
I'm confident to play him. And not a huge on, but with how cheap he is, we've seen over the last, it feels like the last 6 weeks, other than the Josh Allen 40 burger, that cheap quarterback is the way to go. So he'll be mixed in. He's not going to be like He'll be on their own. Probably will be like with the field. And I'm going to mix him in with Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson. If he is like, anything, I think those two will be the benefits of that play.
Hawkinson definitely a slightly sneaky call there.
Yeah,
Davis shouldn't be too bad it's the Apple weather app, which is terrible, but
it's not great.
No rain, which for Seattle I'll take. Just kind of cold. No, not really a heavy wind or anything like that. You respect preseason legend Max Brosmer, Big Kev. He was decent in the preseason. Yeah, he looked good toward the end of the year too. Last year in college. Was it? He's a non-drafted rookie, right?
Yeah, he was just not a walk-on, but like a next day guy.
Yeah, at Minnesota, the Gophers, that is, threw for 2,600 yards last year. If that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will.
Coach, a lot better talent this year. You never know.
AJ Barner, clear tight end 1 in Seattle. You
got him. I was so happy to make that call. The preseason, nobody was on AJ Barner. So happy to be on that call.
And he is clearly tight end number 1. Elijah Arroyo, obviously in the mix of stuff. You're getting Barner at a 3.2K tag. And a couple weeks ago, how many targets did he get against the Rams? Wasn't it like just an absolute outrageous? It was 11 targets, 10 catches, 70 yards. It almost feels like you want to play him in games that they're going to have to throw a little bit, maybe trailing. It shows that maybe Darnold will check down to him a lot. But still, the potential is there at 3,200 to really pay off the tag.
Yeah, there was a tight end I forgot to mention. Sorry, a couple games ago. Brenton Strange coming back. Sorry.
Yeah, that's good. I like that one. I like that one
too. Hey, can I have a job? No, it's like Brenton Strange for the Jags, I think could have a big game again. When he first came back last week, he had like 8 catches for like 80 yards, something like that. So forgot to mention that. And go ahead.
It's interesting. I do like that Strange call because we kind of glossed over him last game, but him being back in the fold in Jacksonville is, maybe someone to potentially stack with Lawrence for those who dare.
Yeah. For this game, I'm gonna have some Rosberg, and on the other side, this is one of the guys I do like to pay up for. He comes in every week and he shows out. It's the Cooper Kupp, maybe being on the same team, effect like, that elite talent just shows up. Just what Puka came over, shows out. I think Cooper Kupp has a lot to do with it. I think he teaches them, the best ways to beat them. And I'm going to go back to JSN.
Yeah, hard to go away from JSN. 40 ball in a script that he didn't even need to catch that many balls. Yeah. Right? Like it's just. He's absurd, man. He really is. 20% is about right. Bills, Steelers, Deion Dawkins is out, right? Deion Dawkins. Hold on.
Yeah.
Slight concerns on the offensive line for the Bills. It is the Steelers defense, though. They have been better over the last few weeks, right? Like they've
gotten better with the move of Jalen Ramsey going to safety.
Safety, yep. Last week, gave up 31. They did give up 239 yards and 3 touchdowns to a terrible quarterback. The week before that, they shut down Flacco. And then the week before that, they got killed by Herbert without his tackle. So it's a very big Jekyll and Hyde situation in Pittsburgh. I cannot for the life of me figure it out. When you expect them to win, they lose. When you expect them to lose, they win. It's the Mike Tomlin way. Josh Allen, James Cook, both high price tags, but James Cook could absolutely torch this defense here. It is a bad defense overall, even with Jalen Ramsey moving to safety. Warren Gainwell, talk about a timeshare that is gross. DK Metcalf, underwhelming. I don't know. I see the potential in this game, Felix, but you have to talk me onto it.
All right, so this is one of the games I'm on. And this is going to be the quarterback. If I don't go cheap quarterback, I'm going back to Josh Allen this week. I think the last time that Gabe Davis faced the Steelers, he had like 3 catches for like 150 yards, like with one of them going for like a 95-yard touchdown. I think Gabe Davis, I'm now calling it again. This is my Keyshawn Mooney play of the week again. I'm going back to Gabe Davis. I think this is where he gets loose. Josh Allen is definitely one of my favorite quarterbacks here with all those cheap plays we could get to. With the Taysom and whatnot. I also like James Cook. I'm not going to pair them together. I do think they eat one each other's like workload. So I'm going to have a bunch of James Cook and I'm going to have a bunch of Josh Allen. And I'm not going to bring back anything on the other side.
So you're just on the Bills one way wrecking ball, I should say. Total, I agree. I think the total could be. It's just like it sounds like they're just not believers in this Bills offense at the time, right? Like only a 24.5 team total, basically.
Yeah.
This is a Bills team coming off a loss too. I think that pressure's on
against the best defense out there right now. Let's there's going to be a difference of speed.
A very large chance that this could be your wild card matchup in January too.
That's very possible, yeah.
Especially if the Steelers win this one. Is Keon Coleman going to play? It sounds like he is, right?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I can get on board with the Gabe Davis love. Has looked good. I mean, he had a couple big catches. You saw 3 for 40 the week that you got him at like 1% ownership. And last week, 26 routes. Had a big catch on the left sideline as well. I could talk myself into going against the secondary with some unknown pieces, the best
3,300. It's a real cheap price tag on a flyer.
Yeah. Oh, and we need those flyers. We do. We do, without a doubt. Steelers killed me 2 weeks ago. Calvin Austin ended up getting like soft bench. Not even soft bench. He just like got moved down the pecking order. Yeah, and then last week it's 5 targets. I was so pissed because I didn't ladder him up that time. But like week 11, for example, he ran 11 routes compared to DK Metcalf's 32. Last week he ran 20 to DK Metcalf's 28. So it sounds like we're getting Metcalf Austin as your main 2 with Roman Wilson as wide receiver 3. The tight ends being an absolute mess. It's tough to run it back in any capacity. The Bengals couldn't tackle Darnell Washington even if they had a bulldozer. But obviously he hasn't been able to produce against really anyone else in the league. Yeah. I don't know.
I like Kenneth Gainwell, but he's priced too high for me to combine him with the share. Because I have him on my fantasy team and he keeps producing, but it's like with Warren there, it's just too much capital put into that spot.
Yeah, without a doubt. Last 2 weeks, I know that Warren got banged up a little bit in that Bengals game, but he has been outperformed by Kenneth Gainwell.
Yeah,
10 for 92 last week. Warren still got the brunt of the touches with 18 carries. Gainwell was involved in the passing game, 6 for 30, which was way better than Warren, right? I think Warren didn't even have a catch. I think Gainwell would be the guy I'd run it back with.
Yeah.
I think that would be the guy I'd run it back with at 5,300. There's plenty of good running backs out there, but it seems like in a trail script, they're going to rely on Kenny Gainwell in that pass script. He had 18 routes. Warren had 10. Warren didn't even get a target that game. Gainwell could be the dump off guy for Aaron Rodgers tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me. I can get on board with a very low owned Bill stack and against a bad defense, Felix. I'm happy to do that. Chip Kelly's gone. Thank God. Thanks for the national championship at Ohio State. And now you're exposed for being a fraud. Maybe he was holding back Will Howard. Who knows? Justin Herbert without his tackles, still a nightmare for me to click. I can't do it, Felix. I just can't do it. The thing is, I love Herbert so much.
Yeah.
I can't come back to the fact that they only scored 6 points against the Jaguars 2 weeks ago. And the offense, honestly, against the Steelers was completely underwhelming for the most part, right?
Yep.
Steelers turned it over and stuff. I don't agree with this team total being 25. I mean, maybe the Raiders are that bad, but I don't really like any of these Chargers. Like Gadsden's going to be chalk, which it's cool, but I don't know. They still got 4 different dudes who can catch a pass, right? Like you got, it's just isolated to the Chargers here. You got McConkey, you got Gadsden, you got Allen, you got Johnson, you got Trey Harris. All these guys who are very good, to be quite honest, right? Like none of them are a bad player. I mean, you can say what you want about like QJ and stuff like that, but he's produced at an extremely high level. And Trey Harris has got a ton of potential. 16 routes last week. They're almost like all cannibalizing each other. Like if you're playing Herbert, you're having a very difficult time choosing who's going to go off. And the same thing with Kamani Vidal is if he doesn't go out like playing well, right to start the game, it does feel like Harbaugh, without saying it, kind of goes into this sense of, oh yeah, we'll just kind of go with the hot hand. And he's had the hot hand against the Vikings and against the Steelers. So I don't want to completely dismiss that. Like you go to last week and what we had, it felt like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. We had a bye last week.
Yeah. 3 weeks ago was Jarrett Patterson, right? Who was getting involved a lot and stuff. And then
Travion.
Yeah,
2 weeks ago.
And it's just like, I don't know. Is Vidal the best option from here? I mean, you're the Chargers fan. You got to talk to us about some Chargers.
With how bad the Raiders D's been, how do we not go with this Chargers offense? I think it's going to be another blowout. I'm not mad at bringing anything back on the other side. Herbert is, could have 40 yards rushing, 250 yards passing, 3 TDs to Ladd and Quentin Johnson. I wouldn't be mad at that. I'm going to have a lot of Kamani Vidal having the full workload to himself. They might want to just say, hey, let's shorten this game after we get a lead. And then on the other side, Brock Bowers is, he's Brock Bowers. Like, maybe this offensive coordinator that's coming in changes up a little bit and targets and has him targeting the tight end for it. Or it could be more Genty. We don't know yet, but I'm going to make my bet on those 2 guys as a bring back.
Pete Carroll is one of the worst coaches in the league. This defense is horrible, and their secondary is horrible. I guess I kind of have to. I did play Jerry Jeudy a decent bit last week, which that one catch was pretty sick until he fumbled. Yeah. This does kind of profile for maybe it could be a huge big play down the left sideline, right? Like a big play across the field. I think Keenan is the one I'm definitely out on.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, this is the time where the other guys are picking it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna be out on Keenan. I'll sprinkle some guys. Like, here's the thing, like in the Millie is like Saber will probably get me a healthy enough amount of guys, and I'll probably be slightly under the field, but like they're gonna be like, you're not gonna go 0% on. Don't be a dumbass. No, this is the Raiders secondary after all. Yeah. I'll probably end like under the field on all these guys, except QJ. I'll probably be even or above. But yeah, I mean, look, the Raiders games have shown potential. What was it against the Jags when it went to OT and Brock Bowers, an absolute dog.
Yeah.
5,800. No Chip Kelly. Hey, Chip Kelly, ring, you're fired. You know why? Because you have the best tight end in football and you can't get him the ball.
It's seriously. Well, what is the problem? It's just like simple crossing routes. It's not hard. Like, it's frustrating.
It shouldn't be that hard. We got a tight end that's 2K higher than Brock Bowers, who is a good play. If Brock Bowers is 7,800, I'd still be halfway interested. I'm not kidding. Yeah. I think I'm happy enough to go back to the well of Brock Bowers because you have a change of situation with the offense coordinator getting fired. And who knows the ins and outs of it. But, I think a large reason of it has to do with Geno Smith sucking, which not really a surprise if you watch Seattle over the last few years. But, like, also we have the best tight end in football and we aren't giving him the ball. Maybe this is a week that they absolutely just feed Bowers like they did in that Jacksonville game. He's got maybe the best upside, on this slate even. Like, right, we've already seen almost a 50 piece from him.
I think Genty would rival that, just because we get beat by the running game here, and I don't know.
Oh, I mean, look, 6,400 for Genty too.
Yeah.
I mean, you got 2 young studs. You got 2 absolutely young studs at skill positions here. Yeah, I don't mind buying in on the Raiders a little bit. And look, David, you said it best, right? No Slater, no Alt. Alt was really he definitely was the MVP of that O line, especially, and Herbert misses him greatly. And I don't know. Like, they gave up 35 last week or 2 weeks ago, like you said. They gave up 180 on the ground. McQuinn Allen 36, ETN 73, Tootin 74. Maybe it is slightly Genty, but I'll have interest in only these 2 guys, Bowers and Genty. Maybe Tucker a little bit, but
sprinkle. Yeah. That's a sprinkle.
It's a sprinkle. Don't get me wrong. Chargers defense against Geno Smith is still
viable. Yeah.
All right, plays of the day. Felix, we don't have a ton of value. I think I know who your play of the day for both these situations is going to be. You could even apply, both of them, because I know the Saint that you're going to go with could even classify as both. I want someone. I'm gonna adjust the rules here.
Okay.
Under 4.5, so you can't use Devin Neal both times. All right. But we're gonna go with the play of the day, and then we're gonna go with a value play of the day, right? Because we did this in college football. And, Big T picked like DeAndre Moore a couple weeks ago, and when he scored like 3 touchdowns or whatever. Bruce providing some magic too. Maybe we can find a value piece that people can use to help build out their lineups. So I'm going to go first real quick. I'll give you time to kind of look up, potentially, recheck Gabe Davis's name if that's how you pronounce it. But I'll rip off the Band-Aid on both of them. Look, you hear the memes all the time. Taysom Hill this, Taysom Hill that. The problem is this guy got 10 carries last week. This guy threw 2 passes last week. And now Alvin Kamara is out. I love Devin Neal. I know that's going to be Felix's play of the day. I also love Taysom Hill. I love stacking up this game a decent bit. 2,700 for Taysom Hill with potential of 10 plus touches. He's under projected for where he is. Could easily have a 2-touchdown game. Taysom Hill's my value play. If I have to swing it over to my expensive piece now, Felix, I actually think I might slightly wait on this one because I'll let you rifle off your 2. Give you some chance to talk.
All right, so we're gonna go with Devin Neal. Obviously, he's not gonna be underneath 4.5. He's gonna be, I think, roughly 18 to 20% owned. So that I think it's just a smash play against this the bring back for the Dolphins game. And for the under 4.5, I couldn't make up my mind. I want to go Josh Downs, but everything's saying to go Brenton Strange at underneath 4.5%.
Brenton Strange. Oh yeah, I meant 4.5K, but 4.5%. That's a double whammy right there. You got the 3.7 there too. I like it. I like Brenton Strange back in the mix. Former Penn State. Penn State putting up 40 today. Absolute 40 burger on the grill.
Dude, I had Tony in the early game. I thought I was looking good, and I just got passed by everybody in every other game.
Malachi Tony is a dog, dude. He's the best freshman wide receiver in that class, without a doubt. I'm gonna go for my not expensive or anything like that, but for my play of the day that isn't price constricted or ownership constricted. I think I'm going to go with my guy, Michael Wilson. I love Marvin Harrison, a big Ohio State guy. But when a guy goes off back to back weeks and people are going to hop off just because Marvin Harrison is back, you know what? If I'm the quarterback and I gave someone 33 targets, again, I'm not a quarterback. I would suck at quarterback. I ran 40 go routes in the Turkey Bowl. We only had 40. I ran 40 go routes. If I gave a guy 33 targets in 2 games, you think I'm going to go away with him just because one guy is back? Marvin Harrison's great and all, but look, 15 for 185, 10 for 118, a passing script, a passing funnel against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Michael Wilson stays hot. 30 DK points tomorrow.
30, I like it.
All right. Yeah, finally catches a touchdown this time. That's the only thing been holding him back. I mean, the 15 for 185, he didn't even need a touchdown.
Yeah.
He could have had a negative touchdown. He still would have hit 30. All right. You know what time it is. It's time to go to our favorite props, our pick 6 plays of the week. Felix, should we just go ahead and just go straight to this New Orleans game and rip off 2?
Yeah. I did mine pretty early in the day, and I put Devin Neal at 19.5 receiving yards over.
I like it. 19.5 receiving yards. The best part is we're not competing, right? But Taysom Hill 22.5 rushing, right? You got the receiving on it, right? I got the rushing on my tight end. It's ass backwards there. Taysom Hill over 22.5 rushing yards. Devin Neal over 19.5 receiving yards. Those are our first 2 of this game. Felix, I'm going to go ahead and just completely flow on here. I'm going to go with receptions for my guy, Michael Wilson, 4.5. I'm going the over 5 receptions. It's a 0.9x multiplier, but we'll make it up.
I have 14.5 rushing yards for Trevor Lawrence.
Yes.
Who's hit this like 3 out of the last 4 weeks.
I like it. Trevor Lawrence, 14.5. Willing to show his ability in the run game. We got 4 of the 6 done now. Honestly, I'm going to kind of scroll here just a little bit. I kind of want to see what we got. It's not too many great games, I will say. I'm looking at it right now. I'm going to be a believer. All right. Okay. People, you can call me a square all you want. We've gone plenty of unders on the show, but I'm going 3 overs. I'm going to go with my guy. Justin Jefferson, 57.5 receiving yards over. Brosmer feeds him the ball. He's been pissed off at 9 over the last few weeks. Brosmer gets him the ball in a good spot. 57.5 receiving yards over Justin Jefferson.
And then for my final one, I have Ladd McConkey over 4.5 receptions.
It's crazy that the line is that low on a guy like Lad McConkey, right?
Yeah.
I was expecting like a little bit higher than that, but you're giving me 4.5 there. I'm taking that all day. It's a 22x. That's what we can get. You know what? Our DK does such a great job. They always give out some amazing boost every single time. So let's go ahead and see what boost they got.
I got 3 30%ers.
That's what I got too. We're going to apply a 30% boost. They also got a earn $250 for getting a pick 6, a 6 of 6 as well. That's interesting. All right, 30%. This takes us all the way to 29.2x. We'll put down 50 on it. If it hits, we'll give away a $100 DFS ticket the next time we do the show. Felix, any last takes?
I think we're gonna win it this week. It's gonna be a smaller scoring week. It's not gonna be 200. It's gonna be in the range of like 165.
Wow, that would be extremely low. But we have had some absolute bangers in recent weeks. Someone who scored 245 or 255 last week. I can't remember.
I put a 200 and almost did cash.
Yeah, it was crazy last week.
Yeah.
All right, Felix, I hope you win your second milli tomorrow. I hope I get my first. We can do it in a different contest. I got a free entry into the 555, so I got one. Yeah, I got a free.
Did you that thing that was like the play the showdown games?
Showdown, yeah, that's exactly.
Man, I got placed 260 or something like that.
See, you know what it was? It was the Packers game that mattered a lot.
Yeah, I got
the biggest disparity between.
I shit the bed.
Yeah,
on the Bengals game.
Oh, the Bengals.
I would put it the right side, but I just didn't have the right pieces.
I feel that if neither of us win the millie, guys, we hope one of y'all watching do. I know we had a RPS guy, Magnani. I think he got 200K on FanDuel last week.
Yes.
Hopefully one of us or one of y'all watching can carry on that momentum. For Felix and for I, we appreciate y'all for watching. Have a great rest of y'all's day. Bye-bye.